Hi everyone, welcome back to Window Chats with Robyn, the Instagram Live podcast where I sit by my window and chat with very interesting people. Today's guest is Adam Murciano, and he's doing a lot of cool stuff, and I'm very excited. We've been leaving a lot of voice messages for each other, but now we're going to kind of talk face to face. It's very exciting, big day for me, maybe big day for Adam, I don't know, maybe not. It is a big day for me. I get excited talking to people. Let's see if, oh, hang on. We're telling more followers to join your video. Thanks, Instagram Live. Oh, hi, yeah. Let's see if this wants to work today. Da-da. And we invite Adam. And here we go. Will it work? Won't it work? Oh my God. Oh my
Hello!
God. Hi. Okay.
Am I in? Does it work? Okay, good.
It's working.
Okay, amazing. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Is the camera okay? Okay.
It is. Yes, you look great. Are you happy with your framing?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my God, this is so exciting. Okay.
Good to meet you, finally.
I know.
I mean, we've met over voice note, but
we have. Okay. Anyone like this is the weirdest experience from your first voice note. I decided we were best friends. I've never had that.
I know, right? It's insane.
Yes. For those that don't know, I leave a tremendously large number of voice notes. They're very odd. You may have been a recipient of such voice note. For those watching, yes, that's fair. Because you know what? I love a good voice note because, like, I just find text so generic sometimes. So I got to go, this is me.
And
this
tone.
is who I am. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Tone. I need the sarcasm, right?
Right.
It just doesn't come across. So, oh my gosh, I'm so excited this is happening. I'm also terrified. Since I finished your ice cream podcast and now your voice is associated with,
oh my God.
yeah, with Mr. Handsome. So
that's what like the problem is with sometimes with like voiceover stuff, especially horror. Like I was like, damn it, like even I like the way I laugh sometimes, I'm like, wait, that's literally how the character laughs, and I'm like, great, it's my last ruin forever for myself.
Okay, for those that have not seen the ice cream or seen, you can't see anything.
No.
Who have not heard the ice cream pod. Oh, see? Okay. Yeah, Sean, I'm assuming that's Sean Neal. I never know with people's usernames. But yes, people know you as Mr. Handsome because that character.
The character, yeah.
Okay, here's the problem with that character is because it sounds like you, right? It is you. And, you know, the character initially you think, okay, cool, they're just an ice cream man. And
Right.
then the ice cream man has a history. Okay, stuff happens. I'm not gonna, no spoilers. But I wonder, Adam, do you have a history that I have yet to learn? You know what I mean? So I'm scared.
You're like thinking, oh wait, everything is different. Yeah. You're like putting everything in perspective now. You're like, I don't know. Like, always check the bottle of the face creams. That's all I'll say.
Oh my, okay. Because you wrote that too, right? You wrote Ice Cream?
I co-wrote it. I had amazing writers with me, and we all kind of wrote it together, but we wrote it very fast. It was like in 2 weeks, I think, we wrote the whole thing. It just kind of came out. I think those are the best ones, though. Like when they just come out, and you're not like scrambling and like grabbing at things. I don't know. I feel like it's just so natural. I was like, I have to make this because it's just, I don't know. Yeah, we had the best time.
That was really well. So it's really funny. I know I have a podcast. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't do it. Like I don't listen to them. I don't understand why people like them. And then I listen to yours and I go, okay, I get it. Thank you. Well, there's so much going. It's not just people talking. You know, I'm sitting by my window chatting with people that I think are interesting. What a premise. Wow. But yours is so, you have the sound effects, you have the characters, there's a story. Oh my God. Again, no one's doing anything. I thought there were flies in my house. I was terrified. I'm looking around. I was freaking out. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
The sound effects are incredible.
Thank you for saying that. You don't understand. I'll spend hours and hours looking for a single open of a door sound effect or walking footstep sound effect. It's so important to me. And I think it's interesting that you said that because I feel like the fiction podcasts are so niche. And I don't expect anyone to really like them or listen to them if they're not your thing. So a lot of people do like the talk shows and shows like yours. Like people do enjoy that stuff, right? But I just felt like, you know, how can I make something that's like still in the acting vein with my actor friends and still keep it kind of interesting and immersive? And I thought that I've heard of a bunch of different fiction podcasts and I was like, let me just try making this. So that's what I did, you know? And again, I don't have like the budget for like a camera crew and like a lighting crew. I also don't know that type of people to ask for those kind of favors. So it's like, how can I make something that's like, you know, I can do it myself with my friends, you know, for very cheap. It's very cheap to make. So, but it doesn't sound cheap.
It did
That's
not
important.
sound cheap. This sounded big budget podcast money. Okay, this
Thank
is
you.
Robyn has an iPhone money. Okay, she's got a window and a phone. Wow, yours is. I can't believe this was low budget
Thank
because
you. Yes.
like oh my god, sound editing alone. I go, I don't know how you found some of those sounds.
Thank
It
you.
was insane. Oh, I still
Dig through the internet. Spend hours, you know.
So you found all these sound clips for free? Oh,
no, not for free. Not for free.
Okay.
I subscribe to a bunch of sound effect websites, but I have a bunch of them, and I'm just like, but there's a lot, right? Like if you want a door opening, it's like, but it depends on what like. It's like, it's weird. It's like, again, it's called sound design, right? But I was designing in my head, like what the house sounds like. Like, is he walking on wooden floors or is he walking, you know, on tile? Those little things like actually make a difference in my opinion, because I think it like helps tell the story more than just like slapping a sound effect of a footstep walking on something, you know? I don't know.
No,
maybe I'm crazy.
You're not. That's why I loved listening, because it was the details. It was, okay, someone's getting into a car. Well, the car door has to open and close.
Oh, not just any car. It's a 1980s car. You got to figure out what kind of car and what kind of engine. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes it's a little too much that I get like too in my head with, and I wish I can like turn it off. But I enjoy it and I love it, and that to me is like fun. So I don't know. I get a little nerdy like that.
It's I think it's passion. You know what I mean?
It is.
Anyone can choose random floors and cars, but no, it's a specific car, it's a specific floor, and it adds to the experience, and then it's believable. And that's, you know, I go, okay, I know this sound, I know the floor they're on now. Again, I could be a nerdy listener, so there's a lot of
exactly.
Going, how is he editing this? How is he designing this? I was in shock because, again, you know, I support people. I really want to help support people that are doing cool stuff. So I didn't know what to expect. And as soon as I turned it on, I go, okay, there's an intro. What? There's this guy with a really cool voice that's introing things. What? There's a disclaimer in the beginning. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, shout out to Raj, my good friend from back in kindergarten. He has the best voice. And I was like, I need you to do the credits in the intro because you have such a cool voice. And yeah.
Friend from kindergarten. Wow, you really don't forget where you came from. Get on here. Okay.
But yes, again, thank you. I remember you like DM'd me because I followed you and I watched you interviewed my friend Ryan and Leighton. And
right. Yeah. Okay.
Stuff. Yeah, and I just followed you because I was a fan, and then you DM me, you're like, hey, like, I don't know what your like the 911 stuff is, but I'm starting to dig into it, and I think you're doing a really cool job. Keep up with that. And I was like, thank you. And then you're like, hey, you like came back, you're like, hey, I just listened to something. Would you be down to come on? I was like, of course. Thank you for having me. So yeah.
It's, you know what? I think the follow culture creeps me out sometimes. So I go, who's following me? You know, sometimes I'm like, who is following me? Who are these people that actually care what I'm posting? And I go, well, this person's very interesting. And it was more so, it was you're putting so much out there. Like, you not only did you do the ice cream one, but you did another podcast. Is it called Cascadia?
Yeah, Cascadia.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did more before that, and I go, oh my God, I'm so tired. What's happening?
Oh, I'm so tired. If you know me, you know, like all my friends are just like, they know when I start a podcast, like, okay, well, we're not going to see you for like 2 months because I just kind of disappear. But it's a lot of work. You would not think so, but it is. It is.
Oh my God. Yes. Listening to that, I would think so because I know how much work this is. And
yes.
So,
yes.
Like you added a lot of things that I'm not doing. So
exactly.
Okay, you write the podcast with your co-writers, then you find the place to record it, you cast it. How did this come about? What is the deal?
Okay. So the story
enlighten the audience.
Okay, so the story was it was 2020 and I got dropped by my agent.
Ugh.
And it was devastating. It was like a few days after COVID was announced. I guess he was clearing out his roster of people who weren't booking. And I wasn't doing that well. I got a lot of callbacks and a lot of short lists, but I wasn't like fully really booking that much. And so I guess he kind of just let me go. And I was really devastated. I didn't know what to do. I just moved to Vancouver for him. And I'm from Toronto. So, you know, I moved to Vancouver to start that whole new journey and everything. And then he dropped me and it was really hard. And so for the whole year, I was like trapped. I didn't know, like I couldn't get an agent. Nobody was taking on anybody. I wasn't auditioning. And I was like, okay, well, like, you always hear as an actor, make your own work, make your own work, make your own work. And I'm like, I can't. I don't know how. I don't know camera people. I don't know lighting people. Like, I'm not going to do it myself because I know it's going to look bad. So I was just like, I don't know what to do, but I've always wanted to start a fiction podcast. And I've heard them. I know, again, it was very niche at the time. It still is very niche. But I think at the time, Limetown just came out, which is with Julia Roberts. And that was a fiction podcast. Sorry, my camera's shaking. So I've seen like a bunch of shows get turned into television series and movies, and I was like, okay, you know, let me just try this. I went to Humber College for audio editing and film editing and all these things. So I was like, okay, let me. This is like, what else do I have to lose, right? So I wrote like 4 or 5 pilots, literally just for myself, like just to see which one I resonated with the most, and I picked one, and then we just started to make it. And the way we made it, it was. We did it all over Zoom, and I casted all my friends who were actors and stuff. And again, the best part was 2020 because everybody was out of work, so everyone was kind of down to do it. Nobody was busy. So I was very shy to ask people because I was like, oh my gosh, this is my first time making anything, my first time writing anything. Like, I don't know if they're going to want to work with me. And all my friends, they did. And so we did it over Zoom, and I started editing it, but it didn't sound good because everyone had different mics. And also, I was recording each person separately. I wasn't doing it like in a big Zoom room. We were doing each separate person. So my director, my lovely director, Antonio, he warned me. He said, Adam, this is going to be a nightmare. You're going to have 3 hours from this character, like a footage from this character, 3 hours of this character, this, and you're going to piece it all together. Like, I'm like, no, it's okay. I want the best performance of each actor. I feel like if we're all in one thing, it might be a little crazy. And then delays on Zoom. I don't know. I was just like, I want everyone to have their own. So he was right. It was a disaster. It took so long to edit anything, and it just didn't sound good. It didn't sound like we were in the same room, which was the truth. We weren't in the same room. And so we came up with the first 2 episodes, and I sent it to him, and he was like, it's good, but it doesn't sound like, it just sounds off. And it bothered me. And it didn't bother me that he was honest. It just bothered me that, like, if he could tell, then, you know, Joe Blow in Idaho will be able to tell, right? So
Classic Joe.
Right. So I woke up one day, I'll never forget this, and I called him and I said, will you kill me if I scrap everything? Because at this point, we've been working on this for like a few months. I said, would you kill me if I scrapped everything? And we went to the recording studio. I'll pay for everything. And he said, Adam, I couldn't be happier. So we scrapped everything. We took everybody to the studio. And by then that was good because we already practiced. Every actor practiced and kind of knew their character. And we recorded it in 5 days and then put it out there. So again, I didn't think anyone would listen to it, maybe our close friends or family, but then when it started to like blow up, I was like shaking and shook. So yeah. And
wait, you recorded this in 5 days?
5, but well, actually Cascadia was 5 days. Ice-Cream was supposed to be 5 days, but we did it so the other actors were so good on it, we did it in 4 days. We were scheduled for 5, but they killed it. They did it in 4 days, and me and Antonio were like, what? Like, can we do anything else? Yeah, so it was really fast, but yeah.
Was everyone just in Vancouver? Did people fly into Vancouver? What was the...
For which show? So
Cascadia, was everyone in Vancouver? The first one?
Everyone was in Vancouver. We did actually do one day in Toronto because one of the actresses was in Toronto. And so we just did one little pickup in Toronto. And then with Ice-Cream, episode 4, which is the flashback episode, all those actors are from Toronto. So I really want to work with a lot of my Toronto friends. Pardon?
That was Steven?
Pardon? Steven, yes. Yeah, Steven, my friend Alexandria, Emily Strange, all these actors that I've wanted to work with so long in Toronto, because I get them from here too. I decided to do like the flashback episode here because I think that, you know, why not, right? So, yeah.
It is really weird. So I've trained with Steven. Oh my gosh, I don't know the last class I took with him. He's great.
He's the best.
He's really lovely, and he was also a guest on Window Chats. But
yes!
I only say that because I was listening,
and
then I knew Steven was in it. I just didn't know when. And then I hear his voice, and then I'm like, no, what? Because you did got creative with his character.
He had a little filter, yeah.
And then I was terrified because Steven always plays what I've seen in his reel. He plays those kind of characters, but then hearing it. And then with the sound effects that I've discussed that terrified me, I go, oh my gosh, I cannot look at Steven if he's in person again because I'm just going to freak out.
Yes.
It was, yeah.
Well, I was kind of intimidated to ask him because he's like literally such a legend and like he's so talented. And I ran
Yeah,
into him
he's
at the
okay,
Lewis.
whatever.
I ran into him at the Lewis Ballmender party in the summer, and I was like, wait, he would be perfect for this. So I just kind of messaged him. I said, hey, I don't know if you'd be down for this, but, you know, and he said, of course, I'm so down. And he came in, he just absolutely crushed it in the studio. And me and Antonio were literally jumping in the sound room. We're like, we got it. Like, you're so good. So, yeah.
Everyone was good. I was just saying, Steve,
Everyone.
Janet was on it too?
Janet was on it, yes. She
Lovely.
recorded that remotely. It was a quick last minute thing that I wanted to add. And she did it from her studio because I know she has her podcast. So I was like, you have all the stuff, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, right? Like, okay, cool. Yeah, here you go. Here's some files, whatever.
Exactly. And you know what? And I'm fine with like recording remotely, and that's something I'm so down to do in the future as well. But I think there's something like magical with especially this type of podcast to record in the same room against one another and stuff. It's like a scene partner, right? Like it's I don't know. It just helps it bring it more to life. And as an actor,
So that's,
like
yeah, I was gonna ask. Okay.
Yeah.
I was, because it seemed like they were in the same room, and that's why I thought it was just amazing editing. The fact that that makes sense.
Yes.
Not that the editing wasn't great, but I go, no, this is very conversational. You know,
yeah. We
recorded
in the live room.
Add this.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a live room, so we're all, and it was challenging during COVID because we had to wear our masks in between takes and everything, and air in the room. For Cascadia, for Ice-Cream, it was more chill. But we recorded in a studio in Vancouver for most of both of the shows, the Flash recording studios, and they have a big live room, and we got to like kind of just record off of each other. We got to physically be like physical with one another in some scenes, which was really fun as well. I don't know, it's just a whole different experience that I never thought I would do as an actor, you know? And now I'm kind of like finding this whole new world, and it's just literally so fulfilling. I don't know. Yeah.
Do you know, but I see it because I was envisioning it on camera. Is that the next step? Because I just see it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I go, okay, here's, like I'm doing location scouting in my head because I have a problem. But I just see it. I see it coming to life, and I don't know if that's something you'd be interested in.
It's definitely something I would love to do like down the road, but right now I just want to focus on making good content, making good stories and audio, and building our fan base. And
I see that.
Eventually, maybe one day get there. I mean, that's obviously, that would be the best end goal, but I think we're still so new, and I still have to prove myself, right? So
that's fair. See, I just jumped ahead. I go, cool, you did this. Let's go. let's take it and run with it and see what happens.
Right?
We did get a shout out from Evan Bezimer, the man, the myth, the legend.
Hi, Evan.
Yes. And then, you walked his dog?
I watched his dog the other day. I was in Vancouver like last week, so I was watching his dog. He just got a dog, so I was watching his dog.
and now he's watching you. Okay.
And now he's watching
look at this cycle of.
Hi, everybody. I feel like there's so many people watching this. I'm nervous.
Yeah, they just kind of come on and then go off, and you go, oh, hey, cool.
Yeah.
Because they're like, wait, what's happening? Is someone talking? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for watching us talk. Okay. Can you imagine if your podcast was like an Instagram live? People are commenting, don't go through the door.
Oh my God. That'd be actually kind of cool. Like, choose your own adventure. Hi, Vic. Say everybody. Sorry.
No, it's fine. There's also a delay. So, Vic could have said hi a couple minutes ago. Right.
Well, it's my first time doing Instagram Live. Like, I would not want to do it with anyone but you, who's like the queen. So.
Oh my God. Stop. Thank you, Crown.
Yeah.
That's lovely. I appreciate that.
How about you? Have you done any voiceover work?
Oh my, well, okay. I was thinking, because I did, I like to make connections, / I like people, but I did this one recording for this film that was supposed to come out 2 years ago. But I recorded it last summer at Post City, and I play this evil triangle robot that controls the house, which is so fun. I can't wait to see it, because it was, luckily with that, it was just me in the room. So I'm just doing all this dialogue, and I go, what voice should I give her?
Is it like a Hey Alexa kind of thing? Like
but they didn't want it too robotic. But I go, what if we make her robotic at the end?
Ooh.
So, just play with it. And then I don't know what takes they're going to use. I gave them options. But I'm always that's like, as an actor, it's so exciting to see what they chose / what I get to play with. It's fun. Yeah.
Right. And wait, so were you in a recording studio doing that? Or did you get to did you see the footage and react to it as you're watching? Or was it just you in the booth?
So they had the feature.
Yeah.
And then I just voiced on top of it. So again, it's so fun because, it's okay, cool. You have 2 seconds to say this line, right?
Yeah.
You go,
yeah.
Okay. All right. Or
or you have a really large amount of time to say one line and you go, all right, let's
Mhm.
insert dramatic pauses.
Right. And they can always edit. That's the beauty with audio. Like they can edit, they can add the beats, they can cut the beats, everything. It's, you know, it's fun. It's good. Yeah.
But it's so, I never realized how long it takes till I go, I was, you know, ADR or whatever after the
Yes.
fact, right? And that was, they shot it probably a little during COVID, like in the
Mhm.
beginning,
Mhm.
right? And then it's a year and a half later and I go, hey, I'm going to come in and do these lines.
Yeah.
And then maybe it releases this year. We'll find out. Okay.
Well, let me know. I'll definitely tune in. That
But
sounds
it'd be weird to see a movie that I voice.
right.
You know, like, because a podcast you just listen to, whatever, but to see a movie and I don't see my face.
But you're
And I
hearing
go,
yourself playing a
yeah,
robot. It's, yeah. I think that'd be, yeah. And I'm sure they're
I
going to
don't
add like a
know.
little vocal thing to your voice. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Who knows?
Exactly. That's,
Yeah, we'll see.
I left it there. I go, I love to hear how my voice came out. That's so funny. Oh, what's your next project?
Well,
It's a question from the audience. We don't have to reveal anything. There's no pressure to answer any of the questions. I'm going to throw hard questions at you.
well, we're working on a lot right now, but right now, actually today, Cascadia. Oh, what? I think I got delayed.
I know.
Sorry. What? Oh, sorry. Okay. Today, Cascadia actually just re-released a French version, which was really cool. It came out today, so I'm about to post it after this chat. But yeah, they had a whole bunch of like French actors redo our voice. It was really weird. It was like getting dubbed, like a podcast getting dubbed, and I was like, that's such a crazy concept. But like, yeah, that came out today. But we are working on 3 other projects right now in pre-production, which I actually want to talk to you about after we hang out.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, there's so much. 2023 is gonna be a good year. I'm excited.
I just came on because I want to audition for you because I want to be a horrifying character too.
No audition. You're so talented. I feel like I just have you on. Yeah.
Oh my God, can I tell you, I love not auditioning. It is
Right.
such a highlight when someone just goes, I see this character for you. I go, oh my God, thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah.
Even if it's a character that I go, oh God, why? But I'll do it. But
Right.
also, oh, like
Okay.
Robyn, I really need a 50-year-old woman. Oh, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh.
How's the hair and makeup on that show?
Fine. Cool. Yeah. Please.
Yeah.
I can add a
Take down
wig.
my hair.
I can just not sleep for a couple days. That's cool.
Right.
I'll go full method. Let's do it.
Right. Exactly.
But so wait, for French, backtrack a bit. Did
Yeah.
you do the audio for that as well, or did someone just take it over
No.
and?
They approached us and they were like, "Hey, it's a French app called Blind Audio, and they buy a lot of the American fiction audio dramas and then they dub it into French for a French audience because they don't really have a lot of French content."
Right.
So they approached me, and I honestly didn't think it was real at first. But again, I struggle with like imposter syndrome.
Oh my
I'm always
God,
just like,
that's
I'm
so
happy
funny.
to be here. Like I don't really like, you know. So they wanted to do it, and they wanted to like dub the whole show into French, and I was like, that's so cool. And so in May, we signed the deal, and we did everything, and then they had like all these actors come in, and so to hear myself being like my character that I wrote with my friend Antonio, like being recreated in a French, it's just so trippy. But to answer your question, I sent them all the files. It's almost like karaoke. So they got the whole scenes without our vocals. So then the actors can just go in and like redo the scenes, if that makes sense.
So they have the sound effects.
They have
or
the
whatnot?
stems. It's called stems.
Okay.
So they have the sound effects and the music and all that stuff like built into the scene, and then they just kind of recreate it, which is really cool. So it's streaming right now on the Blind Audio app. If you guys check it out, if you guys like French, if you are French, sorry. You want
I like French. I'm not
You like
bonjour.
Yes.
Did everyone else have to take grade 10 French? Okay, that's
Right.
random. Yeah.
I dropped it. I'm so bad.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I didn't take 11 and 12. I'm like, I don't know if I'm not going into politics. I'm done.
It's good to have. I wish I kept with it. I'm just, I don't know.
It's okay. Just do Duolingo and then go, oh.
Right,
sure.
exactly. These days you
Sell
can
the
just do that. Yeah.
That's amazing though. That's because, so I was trying to figure out, so you did Cascadia, which is also just to get, so that was underwater, right? I was hearing some
Yes.
underwater sound effects, which was
Submarine.
also blowing my mind. How are you doing that audio?
Yeah, that was a
Is
crazy
this a filter? I don't even know how you found that. It was just, oh, Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just like, I think I was leaving voice messages. Adam, are you for real? What is happening right now? You were not confident. I don't understand why. It was so confusing.
Thank
It's
you so much.
good
Thank
because
you.
yeah, I'm just gonna because this is what it is. It's you were yes, okay, fine, whatever self-doubt that you were talking about, but you did it, right? You go,
Thank you.
not
Yeah.
only did you do it, you're like, I gotta do it well, right?
But I really have to give it up to, I mean, like, it's not, I mean, a lot of it was the help of my director, Antonio, who helped so much with the writing and who helped direct us. Because when I'm in the studio, I'm focused as an actor. I'm not, so he's catching all that stuff, right? And so thank God for him. And then with Ice-Cream, you know, he helped a lot with that as well. And then our other writer, Adam, and all of the actors, like, I cannot just take full credit for it. It's really such a team effort, and I'm just so thankful that anyone would want to work with me and like do this with me, because again, it's like, it's such a, I'm first of all so new as like a creator, but also just like the whole medium is so new and different that like, I'm like, just trust me, you guys, I promise I'll make you sound good. And I'll sit there and I'll make sure that maybe you said the line really good on take 5, but everybody else was really good in take 3, but I'll make sure that I'll take that to make you look good. Because I feel like we all have to look good and sound good to make the performance, the whole show look good, right? It's not just about like choosing take 3 and maybe you weren't that good, but I don't care, it's fine. It's about like the details of making everyone sound their best. And yeah, and that's with the directing and everybody coming all together and doing that. So yeah.
It shows though, because it's do you leave room for improv with these things?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you catch that?
Well, there were parts I go, wow, this was either really well written, like not that it all was, but there were parts where I go,
thank you.
And again, knowing that everyone was in the same room too, there were some scenes, I think it was multiple people, and I thought, that's either the tightest writing I've ever heard, or they're in the you know what I mean? They're in the same room figuring it out, and I love that.
No, we always did like a few takes scripted, and then we always give like maybe 2 takes fully improv. We're like, okay, you guys know where you're going, you know what has to be said. With Cascadia, it was a little more tighter because there was like a lot of like sci-fi like things that we had to hit and like things that we had to like say in order for it to make sense. Like it has to be scientifically correct, whatever.
Right.
But with Ice-Cream, it was kind of more loose. We were just like, okay, you just have. And I always tell the actors before we like start anything, I'm like, hey guys, like if something doesn't sound good to you when you're reading the script, change it. I don't care, because I know as an actor, like when you get an audition or you get like a script and you're like, ugh, this is so scripty. I would never say this. My character would never say this. No. And then they get so offended if you don't say it the way, like word per. So I'm always just like, guys, make it your own. Like, just make sure it's just, I care about it being more natural sounding than like scripty, if that makes sense. So.
I really want your next one to have a gosh golly or something really, you know, that
yes.
It's just so old timey speak.
Right.
That would make me laugh.
Yes,
golly.
Full
like,
on,
yeah, just a whole Pleasantville vibe of.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's fun for me. It's just fun to listen to someone fully commit to talking like that. That's always fun. I go, look at them go. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Maybe we'll just have like that one character. Everyone else is like talking normal, just that one character fully like, that's a good idea.
We don't talk about Ethel. Okay. So wait, when you write this, did you picture yourself in the characters? Well, I know you co-wrote it. Sorry, I keep saying you wrote this. I'm aware it's a team. When I say you, I mean you as a collective. I know you're giving credit to everyone because you're lovely. But you as a collective writing this, you go, I really want to play an ice cream man that does X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Really trying not to do spoilers because everyone should listen to it.
Right. Are you trying to say like for me, like when I write my like a character for myself, like
like for me, if I'm writing a sketch, I go, oh, I would really love to play this kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
So then I write it, and then I find people who can play my counterparts, and I go, let's
got
do it, you know.
I don't really. I think because I'm producing it, editing it, like I'm doing a lot of it. I don't really think of me. This is gonna be for me. I'm thinking overall as a story.
Ooh.
So I'm not really thinking like, okay, I want to play this kind of character, but I'm just like, I'm more story driven in that way for both Cascadia and Ice-Cream. Maybe the next one I will be more character driven, but I kind of write it as a whole, and then I'll kind of cast myself after. I'm like, okay, which one do I want to play?
Yes.
So it's for me about the story, and I, you know, both times I've gotten to play 2 different characters, but I got to have a lot of fun with that. Yeah, so I just kind of think in terms of the whole story and just in general. when I'm writing, and then later on I do acting, I guess. I have an idea of where, like, when I am writing, I'm like, okay, maybe I want to play this character, but then it changes, and then, so, I don't know. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of black out when I write. So I'm trying to think back, like, the both times, I'm like, I don't know, did I do that? I don't know. Everything the last 2 years has been such a blur, and I don't really remember a lot of it, but I think that, like I said, like, I do remember, like, I write as like, more of a story instead of just, like, okay, more for me, if that makes sense.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
I get that, because I reread something I wrote a couple weeks ago. It was crazy. I still sent it to a friend. He actually was very nice about it, but it is insane. Well, because it's like a very weird MLM kind of vibe, and I go, I don't think this is funny. It was very nice.
Yeah.
I will have to talk to him after this and be like, no, I know it's terrible, but it was just, sometimes I write it and I go, because I did a class and I go, oh my God, this is so culty and like MLM vibes of what's happening, buy my book and then take this class and then this is the steps you have to take to achieve perfection as an actor. And you go, okay.
You're like,
so roll with that. That's a funny sketch. But it doesn't always translate. So I love that you kind of just black out, have your process, and go, yeah, I'll play whoever speaks to me at the time.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, I feel like Mr. Handsome was such a fun character to play. And Declan, which was in like Cascadia, he was such a fun character to play. So, it's cool to have the first dibs, I guess. And then cast everybody.
Yeah. But did you, because here's the thing, and again, I just know you from the voice notes initially, like, did you surprise yourself with your vocal range at any point?
Yeah, I did, because like I haven't had much. I say that because I hear like a very positive guy all the time, and then I hear you on Ice-Cream, and I go, oh. It's dark. Yeah. I don't. Again, it was. I'm so new to voice work and voice acting, but the way that it was set up, it wasn't like just me in a booth reading a script by myself. I was working with the other actors, so it really did feel like I was on set. So it just kind of felt like I was on set, really. But yes, I do feel like it was like I definitely went there vocally on both shows, really. And I'm like, wow, that's weird. That's not me. And okay, let's go with it. And it's also like, there's a lot of times I called Antonio actually right before Ice-Cream came out. I was like, is this too much? Like, should we not put this out? I don't know if this is like too, I don't know. Like, I was kind of scared at first. I was like, do I sound like a crazy? I don't know. And he's like, Adam, no, it's good. Put it out. I was like, okay.
I love this conversation that you had. This is legitimately, anytime before I post anything, I go, oh, okay, I'm canceled.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm sharing, but it's, you did it, right? It's so good. I don't.
Thank you so much.
Actually, I wouldn't lie. I just wouldn't have you on my podcast.
Right. Exactly.
Like.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And like I told you this privately, you work so hard on something like your show, you know how it is. And you work alone a lot of the time. And so when you hear people say these kind of things, and like I'm a troll, like I stalk on Reddit when people say stuff. I'm reading everyone's comments secretly. And I'm hearing people say all these good things, and it's so heartwarming because again, it's like I do all this for really not that much money. And or any at all. And then you just kind of like hear people be so entertained by it. It's like it really is something special. So thank you for saying that.
Well, you paid the actors too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
You're paying people?
Yes. Now, cool. Yes. This one we had a little more budget for Ice-Cream. The first one, it was all like favors. All my friends kind of came in. We all did this. But with Ice-Cream, we had more of a budget. So.
And you can make money now?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So with the French deal that we have, they want to buy all our content, and then so that's good money. And then we also are with an ad agency, so they help us get ads now. And BetterHelp just sponsored us, which is a therapy company. If you want to use our promo /Cascadia, but yeah, we do. We've been getting income now, which is really cool. And it's just like, okay, that's a bonus, right? Again, you don't do this for the money. You do this because you want to do it, and then. And I feel like a lot of people do want to do it for the money, but it's like you have to make sure the content is like decent before that happens, right? You have to have the foundation, and then all that other stuff comes later on, right? If you're lucky. So we were lucky, and we're starting to see all that now. But that's almost like 2 years later, right? It's like 2 years of hard work.
That's still pretty quick. Because I literally got a Facebook reminder of I did a whatever student film 8 years ago. I go, oh my God. I've been trying to do this for 8 years.
Right.
Oh,
well, Facebook memories are brutal.
Oh,
they just remind you how old you are. You're like, that was 10 years ago. Yeah.
I mean, like as a professional adult, not as our successful child actor.
Right.
I love
right.
that you were a child actor so much, and I love what you do with your bar mitzvah money. I love that little blurb you wrote for me because it made me smile. Because it is so different when you're a child versus an adult. Like, I don't know about you, but this past little while, I've been very disheartened in a sense of, you know, I just go down this negative spiral, which actually was really funny because sometimes it helps for characters because I go, good, you wanted someone angry. Amazing. Film.
Yes, boom.
But it doesn't always work. But because I'm like, how angry can I be? Oh, I should be super angry for this character. Noted. But it's hard. It's a really hard business, and it's like what you said too, right? If you start doing it for the money, good luck. Yeah. But when you create something, and that's part of why I just like, I love you as a human being because you use so many people, and you called in favors, but also like people want to work with good people, right? You had a couple good scripts, right? And you send it out, and I'm assuming you're lovely to work with because I've enjoyed just planning this chat with you. I go, oh my gosh, she's so genuinely a lovely person.
Thank you.
And I think that's what's going to help you in the business, is because people are going to want to work with you, and you're good, right? It's talent helps, but also being a good person that's lovely to work with is a plus. It's a plus.
Yeah, no, it's. I was just raised that way though. Like, I was always raised to be treating people with respect and kindness and all these things. And the fact that there's people who aren't respectful and kind in the industry, it's so crazy to me. But yeah, I don't know. I've gone through a lot in this industry, and I think that, like, if anything, I'm sure you know this, by being a child actor, it gives us thick skin because we've seen it all. We've done it all. We've gone through so much. And I think being rejected so much as a kid and as a teenager, like, those are formative years. And kids our age weren't going through rejection as hard as we were, you know? And I think that, like,
did you know it was rejection though? Like, did you know? Because at first when I was, you know, young and naive, and they go, you leave, like, I had a call back, and then you have the second call back, and they go, we'll call you. And you know, little child, oh, okay, cool, they have my phone number. They're not calling you, little Robyn.
And even, like, being shortlisted to, like, are you available? Like, it's down to you and somebody else. And I'm like, okay, I made time to drop everything for this audition in the last minute. I will make myself available for this shoot. Like, just don't tell me. Just tell me if I booked the role. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. You get used to it, though. You get used to that whole industry process. But yeah, I don't know. How old were you when you started?
Oh God, I want to say like 6 or 7. But it was.
Oh, you were really young. Oh,
yeah, so I was very young, but also I was awkwardly tall for my age, and I didn't know that. So I had like a lot of people really successful around me, and I couldn't, because I didn't look like a child. I looked like I was their mom. It's the biggest joke in my family. Like, there's a picture of me and my 3 siblings, and I look like I'm their mom. It's just, I was very tall, and it was like, I was on a kids show, and I was the babysitter because I couldn't play the Barney kids. It wasn't Barney. It was a bad version of Barney. Right. But you know what I mean? Like, she's not a child. Yeah. And I go, that's fair. That's probably why I had a mature sense of humor at the age of like 12. Because that's, But it's very, it's kind of like, I feel like the industry almost tells you what you should be. And I love that nowadays, you know, everyone be who you are and love your body. And I go, oh my God, I did not grow up like that. Like, I grew up feeling insecure and uncomfortable, and I was never good enough, you know? So it's not. Well,
it's funny that you just say that now, because you did tell me just before we got on, you're like, oh yeah, I was just going over your bio, and you told me that you had braces, and I had braces too, and that was kind of like a career killer, and it was, which is so crazy to me, because I feel like that was only like 10 years ago for me when I had braces, and that was still not a thing. Like, you couldn't have braces on TV, which is so weird, because everybody has braces. That's normal. But today it's like that everyone's about, like, you know, everyday people, real people, which is amazing. We love that, right? We want all that different shapes and sizes. But back then, I swear, it wasn't even like that.
No, it was not. I got braces on when I was 12 or 13. And then, you know, 6 years later, I'm a teenager going into kinesiology. So that was my path. But it does, like, it was so weird because I see people now and they're all relatable, and I go, you guys
Right.
not allowed to be relatable back in the day. What is
Right.
this?
I was like that, and that bothered me so much, but like I couldn't say anything, obviously, right? So, but I'm happy. I'm happy it's changed. And,
That's the thing. It is good that
yeah.
it's changed. It's good
Yeah.
for the young generation coming up.
Right.
But I go, but that's not fair. Like, I have
Right.
an eating disorder. That's not
Right.
okay.
Oh,
I mean, like, I just had to.
Right.
But it's
But it's such a crazy like outlook on society and like the way that just like the trends were. It's just crazy. It's so crazy.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It says, and like now you turn on the TV and you go, I wish I was a child again.
Yeah.
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 But it is, you know what? It is, at least we are changing, right? Because if we weren't, that would be horrific.
Yeah.
So at least we're identifying some issues. We need a little work, as
Right.
society has
Yeah.
been saying. But we're trying.
Yes.
Because I find personally growing up, whatever was in the media just dictated my opinion so much, right? Like I'd watch a movie and I'd like make my life, I'd be like, oh, well, that's what the movie was. And then try and be like, how do I fit into this movie? And who am I based on this movie or TV show? And it's really weird. I don't know.
Well, I also just think that like we grew up in a different time. Like there was no social media, and like what we saw on television was really like what we, I guess, would think was the thing. But now like kids have like access to so much, just everything. There's so much content out there that you can kind of find your own niche and your own lane. Whereas back then it was like, okay, we watched this channel, and that whatever they played on that channel was what was the norm. That was the hot girl. That was the jock. That was, you know, and that was kind of, even though you knew it was a movie, you still subconsciously, I think, it had like some kind of impact on us. For sure, it had to, you know. So, but now with like TikTok and YouTube and all these things, people can find their own idol,
like
or
path of sorts,
or whatever they want to watch, you know, or a content creator. I don't know what I'm saying. I mean,
everyone's a content creator now too, right? Which is kind of funny. I go, oh, you know, I see these little kids and they're very successful, and I go, oh my God.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, how? Right. Yeah. Right.
Please teach me, child.
Teach me.
I don't understand the hashtag, right? You just go really.
It's crazy.
But that's why there's so much. It's still, as much as I get disheartened with the industry, I go, there's so much more opportunity now than when I was a child. Like I'm just gonna film something on my phone, put it out there, and see what happens.
So crazy. But equally thankful that I didn't have that access, because I probably would have made some crazy cringe stuff when I was 12. So that lives on forever. So thank God I also didn't have that.
Oh, you don't watch your home videos? My God.
Oh.
The films I made as a kid.
Right, exactly. Imagine the world saw that.
Do you ever watch Hocus Pocus?
Yes.
So we made my Out of Focus, a Hocus Pocus story.
Ah!
It was great. Was
it on like
really...
a camcorder?
Oh yeah, old
Amazing.
School camcorder. Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, it was. We didn't get past like the first two scenes.
No,
it just, I'm like, I need the shot.
Right. Yeah. Oh, you're so serious as a child. Like it's life or death. Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Especially because I'm working with my siblings. I'm the oldest. I go, you guys, you're fired.
You guys, come on. Yeah.
Just, can we be serious? Okay, this is a serious movie.
They're like, we don't care. Like,
I know. Can we just watch TV, Robyn? No, we're making a movie.
Yeah. Or else I'm gonna tell mom that you did this or whatever. Yeah. I blackmail my brothers all the time to make movies with me and stuff and film for me. Oh my God, my little brother, he's 19 now, but he's literally been like filming my self tapes with me since he was like a child. And like, he now understands it all. He's not in the industry at all, but he gets it. And I'm like, okay. But I was like bullying him as like a child, like, how is my self tape now?
Oh my God, it sounds like my marriage.
Yeah, that too.
It's that I really like joking, because during the pandemic, my husband's been my reader, and I go, is that the only reason to get married? And I go, no, it's not. Mike, I love you.
A built-in self-tape
He's usually tuned in for the parts where I say shit about him. So sorry, Mike.
Happy early birthday
tomorrow. Okay.
There you go. I know.
It's so funny. Oh my gosh.
Happy early. His name is Mike.
Yes.
Happy early birthday, Mike. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing for his birthday?
Oh, well, he's doing a course online, so he's very busy.
Oh, well.
He's got a lot of stuff going on while working, and yeah, that's the thing. I'm stressed out as acting is. I go, oh my God, his job is so stressful. So I find every job has its own thing, right? And it's so hard to kind of get sucked into, oh, acting's impossible. Like everything's impossible nowadays. Mm-hmm. It is so hard to live.
That's what I said. Like, I feel like you just have to like pick what you want to do, and if you truly love it, then like all that labor, all that hard work, it's worth it. It doesn't feel as like treacherous, I guess. I don't know. Like for my birthday this year in October, I literally spent the whole day and weekend editing. Like all my friends were trying to get me to go out and stuff, and I was like, I just want to do this. I just want to work on the show. I don't want to go out. You know, I love you guys, but like, and that's because it's passion, right? And it's like, if I didn't like it, if I didn't want to do it, I would have been probably crying. But like, I was happy to do it, right? So you have to pick what you want to do and then just go for it. And it's going to be hard. Nothing is easy. Like literally nothing is easy, no matter what career path. These days, I feel like everything is so oversaturated, you know, and it's like, okay, just focus, just do what you want to do, work hard. Yeah. And, you know, I'm sure you'll find some sort of success somewhere, you know? So.
I mean, you hope so, right? But at least while you're doing it, you enjoy it more than not. So
totally, exactly. That's what my whole point is. Like, at least you're enjoying the hard work, right? Yeah.
And I feel like we're trying to redefine what success means nowadays, which is kind of nice. We're trying to, because I love to set the bar impossibly high so I can really fail. You know, just like let's set impossibly high standards. It's really good for your mental health. Highly recommend. But it's
well, why not? Why not though? Why not try, you know, to shoot for the stars, right? Or shoot for the moon?
And that's right, and that's what I say. Because if I don't aim that high, then like, you know, even if I just hit mid-level, when I aim super high, I go, oh, okay, I guess I kind of did stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Exactly. Why not? Right. So, yeah.
It's I wanted to ask you. I love these rants we're going on in between, by the way. But why is it called 911 Podcast?
Oh my God! Thank you for asking. I have this really crazy. If you know me, like I cannot stop saying the number 911, no matter where I freaking go. I'll see it on license plates. I'll turn on my phone. It'll be 911. It'll be like I'll see it on. I was going on a hike in Vancouver and I saw like 911 on a tree, like literally just like on like a sticky note on like literally it was like it got to a point where I was like, like, am I gonna die? Like, do I have to call 911? Is something gonna happen? Like, I don't. It got really crazy. And then like when it came to like we already finished Cascadia and we were about to put it out, I was like, I need a production company name. And I was like, why not just call it 911? And it actually means something. I looked it up. It's angel numbers. It means this is where you're meant to be. And I think it's really cool because it was like at the time with everything going on, I didn't have an agent. I was dropped and I felt like I was lost. And then I did this whole podcast thing. It was cool to know that is where I was meant to be at that time. And this also just sounds cool, 911 podcast. So
well, that's why I thought every time you listen to something, you're gonna feel like you need to call 911 because you're gonna get a heart attack. Right. That's where I went with that. Right. Because I'm listening to Ice-Cream and going, oh God, call an ambulance. Okay.
So that's why. Yes. Yeah. It's crazy. I literally see it all the time. I see it on so many license plates too, which is really bizarre. I don't know why, but yeah. I'll always Snapchat it and like sending it to my friends. I'll see it in phone numbers, like phone numbers on a bus, like 1-800-9110. Like it's crazy.
I've never commented on my own live, but I felt the need to write 911.
Haunting me. Stop it.
I didn't know I could comment in my own live. That was exciting.
Amazing.
That's such a good story. I don't have a good story for my, like, I'm just like, I don't, because I call my production Artie Har Productions, because I thought, what's the lamest way to laugh? You know, har. And I'm like, well, RD, and then har. So that was, but yours is so good. Ooh, I want to change my company name. I'm not seeing any numbers though. I don't know. How many times do you think you could change a company name? I change names a lot.
Really?
Okay.
I'm like, I didn't know you could.
I don't know. Yeah, actually, I don't know if IMDb will let me. I might be stuck with it. Okay. Yeah. All right. It happens.
Yeah. I like it. RD Har Productions.
Yeah.
think it's funny.
I spell it. Yeah, thank you. I thought it was. But the more I say it, I go, because then I put it in my resume and I go, looks like I'm some old woman doing. I told you, I'm like this.
I love it. No, I love it.
It makes people laugh, I think.
Yeah.
So there you go. That was the whole point. The reader go like
Exactly.
either confused or that's the thing. If you're confused and don't get me, no, thank you. But if you chuckle, I go, okay, cool. We're friends for life. It happens.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I was told I move a lot during my podcast. So obviously I have a swivel chair to enhance my movement. I don't listen to feedback. I make it worse. So
how are you not backlit? I was going to do like a beside my window, but I thought it was too backlit. Like, how are you not backlit right now?
Oh, okay. So I only open this one side, but I have a lot of windows in front of me.
Oh, okay.
Well, like to the side.
Gotcha.
Because this one isn't open. I thought it through. I've been testing it out.
Right. Yeah.
Also,
I tried to I went to different windows in my house. I was like, this doesn't work. I give up.
I like your light. I think it's great.
Thank you. It's windows.
Because here's the thing: if I did it directly, so it would be this way,
right?
Then you'd see things, and I go, no.
Right.
So now it's kind of like a cool vibe. There were birds that just flew by. That was fun. But now it's kind of like downtown. Where is she? Ominous. Ominous is my favorite
City
word
girl
of the day.
Yes.
City girl. I know.
I love that.
I love hearing the story behind Things Are Made because. Like, here's the thing. When your agent dropped you, which is also, let's have a discussion on that. Like, I know this happened to a lot of actors. Yes. 2020, and then a lot of agents said, okay, clean the roster now. Which I have questions and concerns about, but it is what it is.
I get it.
Mostly because I get it in a sense, like, it is not easy being an agent. I do understand that. Yeah. But also, like, where else are you going to go if the trend is everyone's dumping actors?
Right.
Other than like, do I start my own agency? Like, what do I do here?
Right.
It's very confusing, the agent-actor relationship. I can't wrap my head around it. And that's why I have no agent. But that's...
There you go. Right? I have an agent now. Like, I ended up getting an agent in the end and everything. It was all fine. But I was just so tired of just, like, sitting around waiting for, like, the career to happen. And I was like, let me just do it myself. You know, I know so many people... I know so many talented actors, like, why not, you know? And, you know, with Ice-Cream, it was a little hard with that because there was a lot of children involved in the show. So I had to go through other agents and, like, the union and all these things. But because of that, to answer your question, I guess, like, I understand what the point of agents are because they helped me so much with, like, just like scheduling and getting everything involved. They did so much. I worked with the characters agency for that, and they helped a lot.
Oh yes, you gave them a thank you.
Yes, they really helped, and so I understand.
I think especially for children, 100%, right? Because this is a business of, you know, I think of the auditions I go to. It's in my basement. I go.
I'll send a self-tape.
Now, thank God you can because pre-pandemic, I'm like, wow, what are these auditions? Will I die today?
Right. The amount of rooms, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I gotta write a book on this stuff because I don't know if. Do you remember your weirdest audition story? Or maybe like top 10. I feel like the weirdest is always hard to choose. You go, which one is the weirdest?
I have one.
Okay.
It wasn't like a weird casting director situation though. Well, it kind of was. So
we don't need a Me Too thing.
Yeah, I was auditioning for the show. It's a really big show. If you're watching this, you definitely know the show. It's a teen CW hit show. Okay. And it was in Vancouver. And in the
Arthur,
scene,
okay.
Yes, it's based on a comic book. Anyway, the scene was I was supposed to make a sex tape. And I was supposed to film the person having the sex tape and like give a massage and like kind of do sexual acts in the audition, like in the scene. And of course, why this scene? Like, why do I have to do this? And, you know, anyways, it's fine. So I go in and I'm doing the audition and I'm doing the like massaging and like, it's just like this whole role is very creepy. And so we finished the scene and I'm just kind of coming out of it because I worked so hard on it. I was so focused in the scene, the performance. And the casting director, he's like, wow, like, good job. I can tell you've done this before. And I thought he meant like, oh, like you've practiced, like you've worked hard on this before. So I look at him in the face, I'm like, yes. And then it's silent, and then everyone starts dying, like the casting, the camera guy, the assistant, everyone starts laughing, and then I clicked in what he meant was like, oh, like you've done this like sexual sex tape act before. I was like, no, that's not what I mean at all. No, sorry, I thought you meant I practiced, I've done this. Like I thought you meant like, oh, good job, you worked hard on this scene.
Oh my God.
So humiliating. I was like red, and then I was like, no, and then whatever, and then I left, and I was like, I'm either gonna be blacklisted from this guy because he probably thinks I'm a crazy sex person, or I'll get the role. Either one. And I ended up getting like shortlisted for it. But I didn't get it, but I was like, okay, at least he doesn't think I'm a creep. So,
oh my God, true, true.
Or maybe he does. I don't know, but yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a weird audition. I know when they were auditioning Handmaid's Tale, there
Oh
were
my God.
scenes. I used to get like an email from my agent, like, are you comfortable doing this kind of
Right,
role or the scene?
right.
And because sometimes they have to see you give someone a lap dance, and I go,
Right.
well, either the person that's the reader is having an awesome day, or it's an awkward day for them, right? Like, what is happening?
Right. Which one is it gonna be? Yeah.
Because you know what? The things they don't specify is how far do you take it, right?
Yeah.
And it's. I know there's.
I feel like you don't have to audition that. Like, just tell me what the scene is going to be and if I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like
But
when it's
here's the
physical
thing.
stuff. Like, no, yeah,
Like, what if you say, yes, I'm okay with it,
right,
and then big budget, you're going on set, surprise, they're not okay with it. I do understand
Right.
why they have to
Okay.
see it.
yeah, I see that.
Because,
I see that.
look, okay, back in the day, I used to lie a lot on my resume. I don't do that anymore because I'm
Right.
mature. But, you know, all these skills that I had, yeah, I can juggle.
Yeah,
Sure, one ball, that's called throwing, Robyn. You know, like it's not, it's not a skill. So I get the need and
No,
people, the
I never
desperation
thought
of
of it
yes,
like
I'll
that
do
at
whatever.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that ever, just until now. I was like, why are they making me do this? This is so silly. Of course I'm going to be able to do this all that. But they want to see you in an awkward situation if you can handle it, and then on set, if you book it, then you'll be fine.
Well, also
yeah.
if you're professional, right? Because
Yeah,
like
true.
you're not. This isn't a like dry
Right.
humping the camera. That's not what the scene. You know, it's not
Right,
a porno.
right.
It's
Right, for
or
sure.
is it? But no,
Or
it's
is
not.
it?
Yeah, I don't, or whatever. Choose your own adventure. Back to the podcast, but. It's that story is really funny though. I think
Yeah.
it's just a really funny. I think that's a story that people that were in the room would tell because they probably knew that you didn't get it. I think that's funny. I think that's innocent.
Went right over my head, and they all knew
Yeah.
too. And it took me a second to clue in. I was like, "What? Oh, yeah." How about you? What was like your worst audition?
Oh God. I mean, I could honestly say all the callbacks.
Yeah.
Not. But I think the biggest thing with auditioning for me is just not understanding things sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I'll go in and give it either way too much energy or not enough energy, or I just did not understand the scene. And that I just feel awkward when I either didn't understand the scene or I just didn't give it my all because I was scared. And that's when I feel icky. But
Yeah.
I don't know I don't have a funny one. Do I have a funny one? I ask the questions. I'm never ready to answer them.
Sorry. You're the host.
No, it's fair.
No, I do sometimes think that. Like, sometimes they'll give you very vague character description, scene description, and you're like, okay, well, it can go either way. Which one is it? So maybe.
But you know what? And that's, I think, because I like working behind the scenes now because it took me so long to realize there's no perfect audition. And it's just like, this is, if you interpret a character that way, fully commit to it.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing for me, because regardless of if it's what they wanted or not, the acting's still going to be there. You fully committed to your version of it.
Yeah.
Instead of this haphazard, oh, maybe this is what they want to see, so I'll give them a little column
sure.
A, column B, and
And that's something that I really enjoyed with, like, before I did the podcast. Like, I really loved, I know this is like an unpopular opinion, but I did love auditioning so much because it was, as an actor, like, you don't have much control. Even when you book the role, there's someone directing you. After even you shoot it, there's somebody editing you. Like, you really have no control for the most part. You have to bring yourself, you do your work, and that's all you hope that, you know, is good enough. But, like, an audition is literally the only time you can, like, fully be creative and have your control. But even then, you have a cast director trying to, like, you know, tell you sometimes, which is fine. It's all I get it now. Like, I'm now the other side with the production. I understand it, you know? And so, you know, I think that's something also why I want to do the podcast, because I had control. I was able to be creative fully. Whereas, like, musicians, they can write a song, put out a song, they can do their own thing, and it's like all their we don't really get that control, right? And, like, I enjoyed it so much. And so now when I'm casting the shows, sometimes they'll be like an amazing actress or an actor. I'm like, oh my God, they're so good. But they sound too much like our lead, and I need separate different voices because I don't want them to get confused. And so I see it now, I get it now. And I think if anything, it helps me as an actor because I understand maybe I did a great job, but I look too much like so-and-so or the lead, or I'm too tall or so many variables. And that's why you can't take it personally. All you have to do is do your work, give what you have, and be confident with your choices. And it's truly out of your hands. That's the biggest thing I can say, I guess,
Yeah.
is out of your hands. And just have fun with it. Because at the end of the day, you're probably not going to get it.
I mean, that's sad but true.
Yeah.
But it's true. Have fun with it, right? Because there was a time where I just started, I'm like, I'm not having fun. There's so many times, right? And then you kind of take a step back and go, this is supposed to be fun. Why would I put myself through this if it's not fun?
Yeah. Weird. And I'm not saying I'm never not going to have fun, but it is, I think once I start subscribing to the idea of like, okay, well, I have all this information. I'm not going to impress this casting director because they already know, there's only a handful of casting directors. They know what you can do. They call you in, they know, whatever. I'm going to go in, do my best, enjoy myself, have fun with it. Probably not going to get the role. So why am I stressed out? Let's just go and do as long as it's like in the parameter of what they give you and you're like not fully off track, like you should just have fun with it. And it took me a long time to get there though. It took me a long time because I was trying to impress everybody and do the most, and I was very stressed out, and now I'm just like, it's fine. And those are the ones that you end up booking, I'm sure, right? So.
I was making a joke the other day. I left a message for my, so the last guest I had on, I was very cynical about the audition. I hate this. I was so upset about a callback. And I ran into her that night, which was another funny story. Shout out to, no, I can't give a shout out because I don't remember the show name, but you were great. Good job, Tara. I can't remember the show. Something Shakespeare. You guys were great. Whatever. That's a great shout out. This is why I do what I do. But I was so bitter about that callback I had. And then I got this audition for the exact same role, and I just couldn't stop. And I'm like, it's 10:30 at night, filming it. I don't care. I'm so angry. And then I booked it. And I'm like, because I didn't, like, I was just out of my head. I don't care. I'm filming, like, here you go. This is the character. I know this character. I should have done this character at the call. But, like, I just put so much on the callback. Like, I just put so much energy. I'm like, I need to book it because I know this character, because I deserve it. Like, oh my God, calm the fuck down. It's just, like, breathe. And also, it's so frustrating because I'm like, I always want them to tell me, but I'm like, no, this is the character, and this is, I have to just let myself do what I think it should be instead of waiting for direction and permission. And that's what I find is so interesting, because when you're like, this is the character, 100% confident, here you go, that's when you go, oh, that's all it is? Oh my God, it's so easy. What have I been doing this whole time?
It's really not that deep. Like, it really is not that deep.
Right? This is, you take all these classes and workshops and everything. They go, oh, okay, be a snake. And I'm like, but also, let's just be this human being that they want to be. Like, not that hard. Yeah.
I think, classes are so important and they're good. And, I think they're amazing for like beginners, and always to keep training. It's always good. But like, once you have the tools and once you know what you're doing, just have fun with it. Again, it's not that deep.
But you know what? Also work with people like you, or people that are creating, right? Because again, when I'm doing more behind the scenes, I learned so much. Like, I love that you didn't direct yourself, because when I try and direct something that I'm in, it's terrible. At least I'm not good in it. No,
I'm
like
sure
I was terrible in it because I didn't hit the marks. As a director and editor, I go, no, I needed more from me. But everyone else did great. Because it's so hard to be objective when you're in it. So I think it's really, I know people can multitask with that, but personally, I would love to have a director, because, it's just,
there's so much to keep in mind. There's so much going on. Like, as a producer, like, I'm still not fully in it in the studio. Cause I'm like, okay, lunch is in an hour. I got to make sure that everyone, and then I'm listening. Okay, that's going to be a hard edit. So can we redo that again? So I'm kind of also helping the directing. It's like, it's a lot, but to have Antonio, shout out if you're in here, Antonio, I saw he was.
Antonio, there's so much love.
I know, but he really, it's just like good to have someone in the vocal, or in the other booth, not the vocal booth, the control room, I guess, who could just be like, okay, Adam, that didn't sound right. And he's very honest. didn't sound right. Let's do it again. More sinister in your voice or more sweet in your voice. And again, things that you wouldn't hear when you're just working because you're focused on your thing. So to have, like you said, an outside perspective, it's always good. But it's not always easy.
Even
it's hard.
It's not, but you know what? Like the collaborative nature that is happening, or at least what I see from a lot of my friends, it's just, it's beautiful. Like I love collaborating with, and I always, like, I used to make a joke a lot, / I still do all the time, that I hate working with people. Like I say that, but I don't. I only hate working with people when they don't show up and they ghost me. Do not do that to me. I will lose my shit. And I don't hide it well. But if I'm getting better at hiding it. I am. But also, like, if you're watching this now, you know who you are.
It's disrespectful. Anyways. Yeah. Made me mad when I heard that.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's
fine.
never gonna, yeah, it's not. But I think what's so great about working with other people is, especially if I'm open to a piece that I wrote or something that I'm trying to create, is they bring such an amazing new perspective, fresh eyes, or let's try it this way. And I think, and then it's such a better end product. And I feel like this is pre-pandemic. Robyn would not be relating to, not post-pandemic, but whatever time frame we're in right now, that version of me. But it's just so important to be open and know that when someone gives you feedback, it is to make you better, right? Exactly. It's not like, oh, I'm giving you feedback. Actually, okay, there are some sick people out there, and that's a whole other story of giving feedback to make them feel superior, and you just distance yourself.
It's always gonna be haters, but you have to know when it's like a hater or like critical feedback,
Yeah.
And I've known that, like, with the first show, I think it just came out of like insecurity, like, who am I to be doing this, like, so like that's why I surrounded myself with like a whole team of people to help me, because I was like, I don't think I can do this on myself. But thank God, because there were so many things that came out of that I didn't even think of. I was like, oh my God, that's a totally cool idea. Let's do that. And so now it's like, all I want to do is surround myself with people who want to be collaborative and work. And that's why I tell the actors, ad-lib, add your own stuff. Or what do you think about the scene? How do you, like, we just discuss so much in the studio, because I think that it's, like you said, so important. And then people have different perspectives, right? And it's, I don't know. More brains are better than one, I guess.
I understand how, if it's a really big production, we have to stick to the script. We're very tight on time. I understand why everything can't be collaborative. Totally. I do get that. But I can usually tell when a project is collaborative or not, based on, there's just something that you feel when you either listen or watch something and go, that looks like there was some tension there.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, they're having a really fun time. I'm picking up on this fun. Okay.
You can feel the vibe. Vibes don't lie. You can feel the vibes for sure. Yeah. So.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. I could keep talking to you. It's been over an hour. This is
my
problem.
God, has it? What?
Yes, it has. I know. This is like, you're very easy to chat with.
Hi, Victor. Hi, Teddy.
I don't know if that means let's go for another hour. I'm sweating in the sun, so I'm not going to. It's 2:00 is peak sun. So
Well, I had the best time talking to you, and I'm so happy that I got to come on your show.
Oh my gosh, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for talking to me. It's been I literally didn't even feel like an hour. I'm shocked. But
I can keep talking to you. We're not going to, because you have like podcasts to write and do. You have stuff. You're very busy.
I have to sleep. I haven't slept in forever, so I'm sleeping.
That is true. Please catch up on the jet lag. What is it, 3 hour time difference?
Yeah, which is crazy. You wouldn't think that is, but I do get jet lagged. I'm literally like...
It's an hour for every hour that's a day you have to sleep more or something.
Exactly.
That doesn't sound... Say it smarter, but that's something... I don't know what the jet lags and
I took a red eye, so like I didn't even sleep on the plane, and then I'm just like my whole sleep schedule is all messed up, and I'm just tired from the podcast, and I'm just gonna sleep forever. So
the solution from finishing a podcast is to go on to another podcast. I love that for you.
Exactly. I'm addicted.
Well, actually, though, I think you were on other podcasts too. So I feel like that's all in the story. In which page? Your 911 podcast page?
Sorry, say that again. Sorry.
Were you a guest on other podcasts too? Did I see that, or was that like
another podcast, like a talk podcast?
Yeah. Were you not promoting yourself somewhere else? I don't know. I did a quick
yes.
like.
I've done a few different podcasts. Yeah. Talk about it. Yeah.
Should we listen to those? Like, is there more to it? Like, will they pull a little more behind the curtain and we'll be,
well,
we didn't talk about that.
Another show coming out. Ooh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but
okay. Don't say it.
Okay.
There's a show. Watch it.
There's a show. This Much Music.
Adam. Okay.
This Much Music VJ who I've grown up watching, and I'm so honored to be on his show. You might know who he is. I'll tell you after, but it's coming out soon. He hasn't announced it yet, but it's coming out. We go really deep into like the whole child actor stuff and some things that I've gone through, and yeah, we go really deep. So
okay. Yeah. So this is like warm up, kept it light,
yes.
And then we go deep dive into Cascadia. No, that's
there you go.
But yes, any final thoughts? I hate that question, and yet I always feel compelled to ask it. I feel like we covered a lot.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me, and also just thank you for everyone for listening. Like, I'm always just so shocked that anyone has, and it's just so cool that I can create stuff and people are interested, and I'm just honored. So thank you very much, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you for creating interesting stuff to watch and listen to.
Thank you.
So yeah, I always say watch because I visualize it. That's why I keep saying watch.
Good. That's
you know what I mean?
point.
Yes.
I want you to make it in your mind what these characters are, so thank you for saying
But thank you for joining me, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you to future viewers for watching, and have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.